You know, we can't even pass a ball to a red shirt. We're not signing him because we're not in the Champions League, mate. If you want your mate here,
get us
go
there.
And get us.
Get us there, mate.
You can't be dropping any points here this weekend.
I am still joined by Steve Hoare, by Chris Pater, by Neil Jones, and by Adam Morgan as well. We're going to be previewing next Liverpool, Nottingham Forest. Let's be perfectly blunt on this one, Steve. Forest are rubbish, but Forest also beat us this season, so we can't afford to be them pricks.
Well, yeah, I think everyone beats us at some point or other, so that's what I bought.
Not Newcastle.
That's, yeah,
in your face, Newcastle.
In your face.
Losers. Best defence in the league, my ass.
With all your money and your Champions League plays.
And your happiness, enjoying your wins.
Yeah, cup finals.
Team photos.
Anyway.
Is he still doing that?
Yeah.
The team photos after every win.
Yeah, they like that, don't they? Anyway.
Used to do that after a good swimming gala.
Don't like to bring it up.
It was only the teacher who asked for them, and you never got to see the finished photos. It was very strange.
Didn't even have a camera.
He kept just went click. Nottingham Forest, Steve, Anfield, Saturday 3 p.m.
Yeah, the show's got the rails. That is the game. Yeah, it's can you back up another good performance with another one, because Liverpool have let us down so many times where we've just felt like we're getting, you know, we beat United 7-0 and don't win a game for ages, or you beat City
or whatever it was.
Even like you beat City, you beat West Ham, and then you lose to Forest. We've done all that kind of stuff before, so you need to. The next step is just a bit of consistency and show that however we end the season, wherever we end it in good form. You know, a couple of good wins. That's what they need, because I think it's fair to say we can't trust them still, because they haven't earned that. You earn that by going. You beat Leeds, you beat Forest, and then you go again Spurs on the line and all that kind of stuff. West Ham on the highs, and so that's what it is for me. You can't just like one-off performances here and there. That's why you end up as like 8th in the league. You need to put runs. You know, look what Aston Villa have just done. They put like 5 or 6 Premier League wins together, and they've shot up from mid-table to like above us. That's what Liverpool need to be doing, that kind of thing now. So you're right. Forest at home should be a banker. I said the other day, so apologies, but like, when you looked at our running, when you thought we were going to be in the title race, you're like, oh, you fancy that? There's nothing that like terrifies you. Like Spurs at home is the only obvious one that really stood out at the time. So in theory now it should be the same, shouldn't it? So yeah, Forest are rubbish. There's a lot of rubbish teams in the league. You know, whoever stays up, like God, some rubbish teams are going to stay up. So, and these are one of them. So I'm with you, mate. You just go and do your jobs.
Adam, it's a test that they need to pass. It's just one of those things. We talked about this. Is they've tried something new. It looks like they've managed to kind of rebirth something, some hunger, some energy in the squad or whatever. Yeah. But if you can't then turn up against Forest at Anfield, like they'll fight and they'll give it their all, and they might well drag themselves out of relegation, but we should be no part of that conversation. They're not there 3 points to fight for, there are.
Yeah, I think so. I think they are fighting on relegation front, but I think for me, it's just a league too big for Forest. Like club size, obviously they're absolutely massive, but their actual team at the minute, they're just not good enough. And I think whether Liverpool are on the best day or Liverpool on the worst day, I think just we're too good for them. I think we're really too good for them. And, you know, like you said, we've all said it, behind closed doors, on shows, anything like that this season. I really fancy Liverpool today. But, you know what, honestly, 100% sure that we're going to get the job done on Saturday. I can't see. There's not somewhere I think that could be a threat. That,
yeah.
You know, to be honest, like, they could shut up shop maybe, but they don't need to shut up shop. They need to come and have a go. Yeah, a point at Anfield in the long run could, but they need points. They don't need to come and do a Mourinho-style performance at Anfield, you know what I mean, and silence the crop. And I think, for me, it's a routine win.
Neil, you've been thoroughly unimpressed with Liverpool's resurgence so far. It's clear from our chat so far on this show. Taiwo as well, your mate, ready to approve what we've done wrong by letting him go. It's not as it shouldn't be. It should be cut and dry. It might not be. I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's different at Anfield, isn't it? Liverpool's taking care of business at Anfield pretty much. Leeds is the only outlier in that regard, isn't it? They've even when they've not been playing well, they've beaten people at Anfield. You know, you think of Leicester and, you know, Everton, you know, teams down there that you maybe would have thought, oh, Liverpool have tossed away a few points away from home. What can I do? And they've got themselves back on it. So I agree with Adam. It's hard to see. Forest don't score enough goals. You know, you mentioned Taiwo there. He got the winner in the reverse game, but you watched them against Manchester United last week, and they didn't have an awful lot, did they? You know, they've got Brennan Johnson, they've got Morgan Gibbs-White, who was sort of okay players, but there's a lot of weaknesses in that Forest team, and you would hope that Liverpool go in, you know, renewed sort of confidence, but also you think even if they don't get it done after 45, 60 minutes, they're gonna have Luis Diaz, they're gonna have, you know, whoever doesn't start out of Nunez and Jota and Gakpo, they're gonna have Thiago or you know, whoever to come off the bench. So there's no excuse for Liverpool really. And also you look at the, you know, Steve says the run in there. I think it's five home games left, is it? Between now and the end of the season, it's a lot of chances for Liverpool to, you know, at least put some pressure on some teams. You know, I think, is it Newcastle Tottenham this weekend as well? So, you know, one or both of those are losing points. So there you go. There's a potential to close some gap. Brighton aren't playing, yeah. United aren't playing. So there's a chance to just make the league table look a little bit more sort of tight and condensed. We've got 2 games in the space of 4 or 5 days. They can't be dropping any points here this weekend.
I something I've been sort of thinking about the last couple of days is, like, I know when, I forget the journalist who broke it now, the Bellingham stuff and Liverpool not signing him. Was it since then that we've kind of stepped up a little bit? Like, has there maybe been something where they go, well, you know what, yeah, we're not going to get you, Bellingham. It's kind of our fault. We're not going to get European football, Champions League football or something like that. Is there a part of them where they've maybe gone, fuck this, let's fucking get into gear and get ourselves into Europe?
Do you think they've got to Trent? We're not signing him because we're not in the Champions League, mate. If you want your mate here,
get us
go
there.
And get us.
Get us there, mate.
Yeah, at least go, like, right, put me in midfield then.
I know it's not going to have like a genuine impact, but there is a point where you can't fuck up anymore.
Yeah.
And we're at that point now. Liverpool, you know, you ain't got any lives left. You've got to go out there and you've got to perform each week if you want European football. It's not just about the players that they're going to play with next season. It's who the reinforcements are going to be. And you get to play in Europe. No one wants a season without Europe. Yeah. Least of all us, least most of all probably the players.
Yeah, but you got players, you got the team on the pitch as well, haven't you? You know, you've got all of a sudden the same team's pretty much playing quite a lot of the games, aren't you? You've got Gakpo settled into the side. You've got Kanate now playing at right centre back, and I think that's the best two, isn't it? Are playing together. You've got Trent and Robertson back into some kind of form. You know, you're not trying to plug in Naby Keita and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain or whoever. You've got a bit of a team that you can go, do you know what? We sort of know what we're going to get out of this team. Whereas for so much of this season, it's been a case of, Jürgen used to say to me, I can't pick the wrong team because we've got so much quality, but it was almost like you couldn't pick the right team because whoever you took the risk on, whether it was Thiago, whether it was Henderson, whether it was Milner, whether it was Curtis, it was almost like, well, none of them are informed and none of them are playing well. Now it's like, okay, now it's got to the stage where I can change it and feel quite comfortable that
and you've got a front three there, haven't you, where Salah gets 2 goals, Jota gets 2 goals, Darwin, all of a sudden Jota's one of those players anyway that scoring gluts, won't he? So he's probably going to get, you know, hopefully go into this weekend renewed confidence. It's been a bit of a hard slog for him the last year without scoring, has it? As a striker, that must piss you off, mustn't it, Adam? I mean,
sure.
Have you gone through those where you're like, fucking hell?
Not many. No, absolutely. But like you're saying, like for me, going right back to the start, for me, the biggest thing I was made up about was Jota getting a couple. I think I love Jota, and I think like, what was it like? Near enough a year, weren't it?
Over a year.
Just over a year.
372 days.
That's what I'm saying. So like, for me, and he had a couple of halves, but then that it's like buses. That's what they say. It comes in bus 1, 2. Because the confidence comes back, and hopefully, doesn't matter how small of a win last week was. We just want to see a little bit of an upward spiral. We're not asking for the moon, kind of. Just go and beat what's in front of you this week. Then again, we could all sit here again and think, right, 2, let's build on it. But because again, going back to it, we just got so greedy of we're just gonna. We're in a time that in the last few years where I thought I can't see us not winning here. Yeah. But now it's just been a bit like. Well, Leeds away, don't really fancy that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Brighton twice. Oh. Yeah. But see, I'm still on the thing of, you know what, I appreciated them 5 years so much. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, and like, I think it will come good again.
It's interesting, we just won by 6, haven't we? It's like the 4th best scoreline. We've won by, we've scored 7s and 9s, and we haven't really backed it up. To be interesting to see. I thought we made the point speaking earlier about, like, you know, the bench the other day against against Leeds when you look at the lads who come on. Maybe that's part of it as well. Like the lads who are on the pitch are like, hang on a minute. Yeah. You know, if I don't score well...
Diaz breathing down.
Yeah, there's Lewis, there's Diaz and Darwin behind me, and then, you know, Thiago's there if you want to play him. And that could raise the levels because...
Well, I think that's the Jota point, Steve, because I literally, there was 35 minutes in that game where that Jota must be thinking, I'm never getting back in this team ever again. You know, we can't even pass a ball to a red shirt.
He might have been thinking I'm getting sold at half time.
Well, yeah. But that's the thing about
definitely.
Jota's the great example. And Curtis has got it as well. We talked about this last week, is they've been given this opportunity. We had one last chance to kind of jumpstart their seasons a bit. And he's done it. And now there's a lot of people, me and Chris did the watch along for Leeds, and all the comments were, why isn't Darwin starting? Why is Jota starting instead of Darwin? And variations on a theme, most of it a lot nastier than that. But now we're like, well, Jota will start, because why wouldn't Jota start? Because he's absolutely earned the right to start.
Yeah, well, you say that, he might not.
Jota's top quality, and that just sums it all up in there. He's just had a bad period of time. Doesn't mean he's a bad player. I remember when Arsenal, like I was saying, I'd go all the South games last year. When Arsenal, and seen them absolutely rip them apart. Like we done the one from the side, the dink over Ramsdale, and that's why I was so delighted, because I know, obviously from such a lower level, but I know the feeling of I'm back now. I've scored 2 there. That's the like. You don't need much. You need a kickstart, and hopefully, let's go.
I think Jota as well. Jota likes Needle, doesn't he? And I think it's harder to play with Needle if you're worrying about your own form, isn't it? If you're, I can't be getting in centre halves' faces if they can turn around and say, mate, you haven't scored for me. You can show up. You know, like I think you'll see a little bit, and you saw him. He was giving a bit to the Leeds fans, wasn't he? You saw that. He gave a little bit of a Cantona celebration when he got the second, didn't he? And I agree with that, mate. I think he's one of them who I could see him getting eight in the last 8, or, you know, something like that, where you just go, well, there you go.
He doesn't score the second without the first, does he?
No, definitely not.
I don't think he scores the first without the assist for winning the ball and driving forward, picking the right pass. Obviously, he's a great finish, but I think he's a really interesting player. I think Jota for Liverpool, because I think he's one of them that no one really. I don't think many people have him in their best Liverpool 11. Even now, I think a lot of people are sort of saying, well, it'll be Diaz, Darwin, or Gakpo and Salah, but he can make such a big difference to Liverpool if he's on the pitch. You know, he needs
a lighter, doesn't he? He needs a lighter in his belly before a game. It's like he needs one of the Leeds players to push him. Just it's like that. I'll kill you, and then then that mindset. If you're all nice with him, I think he'd be all nice with you. But then the minute you go, he's got that evil side of. I'll show you now.
I spoke to Lee Peltier.
I know Lee. Lee.
He played. I asked him. He played obviously against United last season in the cup, but so we done a piece with him, and I asked him about coming through the Championship, and he said the one player he said who just was Jota. He said, and it wasn't necessarily his ability that was still unplayable. He said it was just how horrible he sort of was. You know, like, and he said he was one of them that, like, if you shanked the clearance, he'd sort of give you a little bit as you were putting, saying, it's like, you don't want to play with your fullback, or, you don't you want to take me on, or, that kind of thing.
Before game.
Yeah, he said, like, he was just on me, and he said, and he drives you to distraction. He drove him to distraction in the sense of, I wanted to kill him, like I wanted to. And he said, and then as soon as you do that, he's in. He's away from you, and then you'll score a header at the back post, be a little shout, didn't you want to mark me at that cross and all that kind of.
It's like the Bellamy, isn't it? Bellamy used to be
Ian
like
Wright, I think.
Call people crowd kickers.
Ian Wright
just make the easy pass there. But what he's doing is he wants Peltier to jump at him so he gets out half a yard, because he knows then he got the ability, but. It's all, that's what the fire in the belly of that's what I'm saying, of like, I don't care if I'm small, I can beat you in header, but he'll never beat you in header if you're not confident.
You were talking when you played.
Like you wouldn't believe, like, but honestly, I still do it now, even when I'm playing on Saturday with the lads. It's like, they give me more shit than I give them, but it's like, I just like get into that, because that little bit of, I don't feel it just gets me, and I think, I was going to show you now, and that's what I feel like Jota got back the other day.
We've forgotten about Jota, haven't we? It's mad, because like there was a point a year or so ago when we're talking like he's got the best of Owen, he's got the best of Fowler, he's got the best of Bitter Suarez, he's got all these little things going for him, but the new and the shiny. You see Darwin Nunez, and he's all 6 foot and long hair and pace to burn and all that kind of stuff, and you can't help but looking at Diaz, and all of a sudden he starts to look a little bit Like you're right,
Yeah.
it's not as easy on the eye, is it? It's like doesn't have the pace or that kind of style about him. He's gnarly and he gets in the right places, and he's been getting in the right places. You know, like Crystal Palace, he has a chance, a good chance at the back post.
Yeah,
in that one.
he would have had a goal, wouldn't he? But for a handball, I think I want Chelsea. He's. It's also it is funny, isn't it? Because you see the stories start appearing. Oh, they might cut the losses on Jota, and you think, no, like the whole sort of point is you have depth, isn't it? You don't sort of go, oh, he's our fifth choice striker, so we have to sell him. You know, like, I think a little bit with Kelleher. You know, at the moment you're hearing the stories of I'm gonna have to get rid of him because he's too good to be number two. Like, you want good players as your number two or your number five striker, but he's back, I think.
Fingers crossed, anyway. Any other interesting decisions for the manager? I mean, again,
Curtis Jones, whether he goes Curtis again, because
fourth game on the bounce if he does.
Or does he want to get Thiago back in? It's probably a good game for Thiago. Maybe
the thing's interesting about the lineup and how if they're going to stick with that shape, because we had this little chat, we hinted at it earlier about like, well, where does Thiago play in that? He obviously comes in for Fabinho in the Leeds game, is that right? And off the bench, so he's alongside Trent in that midfield, and that feels very like quite like, you know, there's a lot of passing, and maybe not quite so much of the kick.
Maybe against Norwich though, you could. Sorry, against Nottingham Forest, you could get away with that. Yeah, and attacking threat.
And the West Ham game in midweek is what I'm kind of leading to.
Fab's on yell about, you know, if Fab gets a book, he misses both of them.
Yeah,
he misses West Ham and Spurs, so they might just say
it might not be a bad thing with this form this season.
Yeah, I think they're two games you probably won them more than Forest. He might say, he might say Thiago. If you're not worried about Nottingham Forest on the attack per se, you could go Thiago and Trent.
Yeah, like people, I don't know. People seem to just write off Thiago as like the 8. Like, he's so clever with the ball, and he beats a man so quickly over the yard.
Which side is he playing?
Left, why not?
He's going to have to do some running, because Andy Robbo's a centre back at the minute. If on the Trent thing, I think it's
not when we defend. And this is all my whole thing with this, right? Because you take it back to that 4-3-3 when we're defending 3-2. What is it? 3-1. Yeah, it's 3-2-5 basically, isn't it? We defend with Robbo as a left back. We defend with Trent as a right back.
Kurt has to do a lot of running.
Kurt, that's what Kurt does.
Yes, I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
asking Thiago to do that.
I'm not asking him to do that. I'm asking him to pick the fucking lock. I'm asking him to open the door. I'm asking him to find the man that scores the goals.
Yeah, okay, I get you.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, play a fucking 10 if you want.
I'm not against the idea of just playing in the 6.
He could do both. That's all I'm saying. People seem to write off Thiago. Thiago's one of the best footballers you'll watch, and he's so fucking clever, and he beats a man in tight spaces, and he doesn't need a lot of time on the ball. People don't think that he can play that role at the top.
Nasty,
he can absolutely play that
as well, Thiago.
It feels like driving the Ferrari to Asda. You know what I mean? It feels a bit like you're wasting the miles on him.
No. I'm asking him to play Kevin De Bruyne's role on the left instead of the right. That's all I'm doing.
The other side is potentially
what's the problem with that, Steve?
No, it's fine.
Is Curtis' side, isn't it? Is that, like Steve says, it's 4 games in a row he starts, and he's played pretty well, hasn't he? You know, he's had an impact on games. He impacted the Arsenal game. I know obviously Thiago came on for him, but he helps get Liverpool back into the game, doesn't he? With the little back heel, sets a goal up. I think a lot of people must have slapped the table when he done that and said, "That's it, Curtis. That first time pass, do that more." You know, like I wish he'd shoot a bit more. You know, there's been a couple that dropped to me. I think just hit it early, but is it time for Jurgen to say, "Look, right, I'm buying a few midfielders this summer. You know I am, but here's your platform. Like, you know, like, prove to me that you're going to be one of them as well. That's going to be in there." I think it would be. I was surprised he started Monday. I thought Thiago was going to come in. He justified his inclusion, so I'd be surprised if he didn't start now.
It might just be again. Who does he most want for the midweek at West Ham? And is there a player that he wants fresher out of those? And if it's Thiago, then you let Thiago have another half an hour. No point in risking losing him at any point if you're still a bit shaky on him. Maybe when again Curtis' performance, he's not. It's just whether it falls on the day that he has off.
I think that's the way they'll go though. I think they'll put Curtis in at Anfield and then say Thiago for West Ham for me.
But the flip side of that though, because I don't disagree with anyone's points here, but like if you're going to have 75% possession, do you need Fabinho as your DM? Would it not be fucking just a really good idea to have Thiago and Trent and make it 85% possession?
That's why I think he will.
And all my point before was I think he can play there. I don't think he will play there. I think it's but like you'll never get the ball off him.
No,
Him and Trent in the middle.
I think in this game, I'm the opposite. I think Thiago plays with Jones. I don't think Firmino plays.
Yeah.
I don't think Diego
because you're expecting 87% possession.
We need to move things on. I just want to bring attention to the fact that Forest fans are going to be ringing a banner, respecting the 97, calling for an end of tragedy chanting, which I think is a brilliant sign of solidarity there. And it's interesting to see now the stories coming out. And I think Dan Taylor tried to do a bit of this with the first game, but I don't think it quite came off in the same way. And I saw a little bit of negative stuff around it. But seeing Forest fans talking about their stories of being at Hillsborough, and that's kind of coming out a bit more at the time, and this feels really nice, Neil, and it's hopefully it's another thing that just grows the message.
There's a good little sort of mini documentary on the BBC about tragedy chanting, and there's a guy speaking on it, and you don't realise it from the start. You think it's a Liverpool fan, he talks about Hillsborough, and then it's later revealed he was a Forest fan, and how much he was yes, I know, yeah, but I think he's the guy responsible for the banner. Or among the group anyway, and it's obviously it's forgotten, isn't it, that they were what they went through that day, those fans, and the sort of, whatever, survivor's guilt and those kind of things. And obviously there haven't been too many of the fixtures in recent years, so it's been lost a little bit, hasn't it, that element to it. But I was at the cup game last season. I was pitch side for Indian TV, and they made a gesture there at the cup game. I think there was certainly a banner at the City Ground back in, when was that, October, November. So fair play to Forest, and it's good that that discussion is just at the forefront of things at the moment, isn't it? Regardless of what club's involved or what sort of incident it's being referred to, it is sort of nice to shine a light. And I mean, I almost think like the sort of slogan is just like, just stop being a dickhead, like that's all. It's not, never mind the sort of the specifics of it. It's just like, are you serious? You're gonna chant about loss of life.
Well, exactly. Half of the battle, I think, is having it explainable in a sentence, and I think end tragedy chanting seems to be something that's grabbing traction, which is going to make it a lot easier, and the more fan bases that come onto it. Oh God, yeah. But whatever.
What I mean is, it needs to be able to be a hashtag, because that's how people are.
Yeah, it's true. Right, just back to the game very briefly before we wrap up. What do we think the score is going to be, Adam Morgan?
4-0.
Go ahead.
I think 2-0 Liverpool. I think a comfortable 2-0.
2-0, Jesus Christ.
4-1.
Steve?
3-0.
Okay. 5-0 Liverpool.
Oh.
5. Classic Liverpool Forest.
Exactly. Well, they're putting that documentary out there on LFC TV, and I'll be saying to these lads, pin it up on the dressing room wall, making documentaries about beating Forest 5-0. Here is an opportunity for you to write yourselves into history in 30 years' time when they come round to talk about it again.